Tommy, are you a Muppet or are you a man?
The lovers, the dreamers.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I'm practicing.
uh, Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the 5 and 6 episode of Harry Potter that came out last week. Um, what are you eating, Tommy?
Oh, I like. I just got out of a class. I have like a super late class. I'm recording pretty late, so
It's nine
yeah. But,
o'clock. That's
so what I'm
pretty
eating?
late.
Um, I'm eating some quinoa, some avocado, some salmon, and some soy sauce.
I made salmon last week.
I love salmon. That's been like literally my like new food that I've just been super into.
Salmon?
Yeah, it's
Weren't you
so
just
good.
like
Dude, salmon has so much flavor and it's delicious.
really
And it's like
easy too?
pretty, it's so easy and it's like pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so dope. I just like glaze it with some olive oil, some honey,
Mm-hmm.
some like salt on it, and then pop it in the oven. It takes like 5 minutes.
5 minutes to cook?
Well, yeah, like if you broil it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, speaking of things that take 5 minutes to cook, today we're doing a Muppets episode. Um, don't ask.
I'm looking for the segue. I don't know where that was.
Yeah, so this is one of Michael's favorite, all-time favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where this ranks in terms of your all-time favorite movies. But I know it's up there.
I made a list on Letterboxd recently for it. Let's see. Of my all-time favorite movies, it falls at number 13.
Hmm.
And you know what? That's a perfectly fair assessment, in my opinion. And we'll get into it later. But
So one of my things, for some reason, I thought you were like way into all the other Muppet movies too. But then I like looked at all your letterbox scores and like this is the only one that's like
this high.
really any good.
Well, it's yeah. Well, you're kind of exactly right. That movie, the one we're doing, which is the 2011 Muppets movie, is like the gold standard for like a lot of things among a Muppet being a Muppet movie, but like there are some bangers in there. Like I think I have like pretty much all the other ones at like 3 or 3.5, but like Muppet Treasure Island and the first one, just the Muppet movie, those are like pretty funny, especially the first one because like you know how this one has like a lot of celebrity cameos.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. Like this movie's literally packed
Yeah,
with celeb
well, we'll
cameos.
get there. We're not on the movie yet, but anyway, my point is that the first Muppet movie is like that, but for like actors and actresses from the 70s and 80s.
Hmm.
Like that's
That's so dope.
so like Steve Martin's in it and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess we'll wait to get into it for at least a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really excited. I know Michael had really talked up the Muppets, and at first I kind of made fun of them, but then for some reason I forget what the exact reason was, but I was like, I think we talked about it, and you're telling me like kind of just the insane shenanigans that goes on in the Muppet movies, and yeah, this is great. But yeah,
If
we'll
you
get to
look,
that.
Tommy, I'm wearing a sweatshirt over it, but you can't see.
A Muppets. Oh, it's what's his name?
Gonzo,
Gonzo.
the great Gonzo, or Gonzo the Great. I'm gonna get my Muppet card revoked if I got that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what else have you been up to, Tommy? I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks. Last week I don't want to get into this too much because it's not interesting at all to talk about. But I was just so fucking busy with work. it wasn't even funny. Like I was just literally going to class, coming back, doing homework, studying for tests, writing papers, then going back to class, and then doing the same thing. And like,
Sucks.
yeah, I feel like every college student kind of knows that grind. Like it's at least like 1 or 2 weeks throughout like each semester where you're just like doing shit constantly.
I'll be honest, this semester for me has been quite the opposite.
That's so.
Uh, so I got a job this semester, and I talked about that on the chef episode. But even with a job, I have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays pretty much completely off.
Oh, that's sick.
I work Saturdays and Sundays, and then like pretty much all my classes are on Tuesdays and Fridays. So like I have so much free time. What it does mean is that I've been plowing through Breaking Bad like it's fucking nothing.
Oh, what season are you on?
I'm at the beginning of season 4, like episode 3 or something.
What's like the most recent thing that has happened without like giving any spoilers? Which is hard to do, but like
yeah, the most recent thing that's happened is like okay. A certain person, fuck it, Gus killed a man in front of Jesse and Walter. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I watched it over the summer, but it didn't really stick that well. You got to the that part with the I don't know. I'm pretty sure you have. I'm pretty sure that's very early. I'm just not explaining it well.
Yeah, maybe not because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you definitely have. I just because it happens.
Well, why don't we just do a Breaking Bad episode when I finish the show?
Oh yeah. Let's definitely do that.
Then we can just do all that. But it's good, and I've been doing that, and I've been kind of getting back into watching movies again, you know. Mm-hmm. But still it's pretty slow over here in terms of movie watching. I've been rewatching a lot of Marvel movies. I'll talk more about like what I watch that's new when we do the what are we watching thing. But for because of WandaVision and stuff, I just was rewatching some Marvel movies that I've seen like the fewest amount of times. Like what's it? Fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp and shit like that. Shit I've only seen.
That was a bad movie. Did I see that with? I didn't see that with you, did I? I remember talking about it with you many times, but
no, I saw that with my dad.
Okay.
And it's like so forgettable. So I rewatched it and I was like,
yeah, I just remember like the conclusion was that there was like that evil girl, and like the way she was freed of her evil was being like touched by.
Yeah. Did you read my Letterboxd review? Because that's exactly like what I wrote. I was like, Janet Van Dyne's like magic healing hands are the worst writing thing the MCU has like ever done.
It was pretty fucking dumb. But yeah, I've been watching a few things. Luckily, after my busy week, I realized like, man, I just have not been even like logging things that I have watched. But I've been watching a few things. I started watching WandaVision today, and
how far did you get?
I finished the 3rd episode.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna lie, I don't have many bad things to say about it. It's not like super, super captivating so far. But I really like how they just like change styles and go from like the whatever like 50s, 60s show to like the 80s show. Sorry, I heard like whistling. And did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, that was weird.
It's 70s. That's where you're up to.
Yeah,
but
and I like how it like kind of turns on a dime really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are like a couple of scenes in the first few episodes that like do not fit the vibe, but they're like super out of nowhere, and they kind of like they work. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's not bad. In honesty, I think it's just comparing like Disney Plus shows. I think it's better than Mandalorian.
I don't know what I think because Tommy, most of my issues are on the back half. So
Okay, that's fair. I've not seen the back half.
we're gonna do an episode on it next week, by the way. Just Wandavision as the whole episode, and we'll talk a lot about what I like and don't like and shit.
And it's a 1-season show, right? There's no.
Yeah, I like. I don't think it'll get a season 2 or anything like that.
In some ways, I like that. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, I like a limited series like that.
Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
it like really, really makes the writers be like, okay, this is like do or die. We got to make the best of what we have, and it makes them like, not in all situations, but I feel like in a lot of situations when a show is like limited to a certain amount of episodes or like just 1 season, I feel like you really start to see like certain styles, like really cool. That's just kind of what I like about this show so far. You can tell that like immediately from watching this, it's distinct from like every other TV show that's out today.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. That like we all have to talk about if it executes or not. But it's
already, I'm really excited for you to finish it now.
Yeah,
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's already distinct, which I think is pretty cool. So good on them.
Yeah, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts next week, so that'll be.
Oh shit! Is that
fun.
also a 1-season thing?
I don't know. I think probably because it seems like it's gonna be about Falcon transitioning to being Captain America, and then that'll be the arc of the show. I'm assuming, unless they want to keep him the Falcon, which I think would be kind of lame.
Falcon America.
Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon. Yeah, that's good.
But I'm really excited for that one because that one just looks like a lot of fun, and and then Loki and shit is coming out too. And I think that one's getting a season 2. So I think it's just going to be like dependent on what, Marvel thinks deserves a season 2. Cause WandaVision's more like an event thing, especially since one of the characters is, dead. So.
Yeah. Do they, I mean, I want to ask like when this takes place, but I feel like that'll probably be a spoiler if you tell me, right?
It takes place after Endgame, but before Far From Home.
I thought Vision was dead.
Well, you will learn more about that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do think it's mostly more what I'm looking for in these Disney Plus shows than Mandalorian is in a lot of ways. Because Mandalorian feels like a Star Wars checklist of like, how can we check off everything that the fans want from us?
That is the perfect explanation of Mandalorian. It's just a Star Wars checklist.
And WandaVision is at least like, okay, we have a plan for what we want to do with these two.
Yeah, you can tell that the writers like want to achieve something that's not just like a checklist.
Right. Yeah. It's not just like, and then Iron Man came in. But
and I think why that works. I mean, I've only watched 3 episodes. Is because I think the reason it sort of works is because like Wanda, Scarlet Witch, and Vision aren't like 2 super big superheroes. Like they're kind of B-list.
Which is what I like all about like,
and that's why Falcon they have so much freedom with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And they could have that with Mandalorian as well, because he's no one, but they just decide to tie it into literally everything. If you want to hear Tommy and I's thoughts on the Mandalorian, there's about 8 episodes where we bitch about it.
Yeah, I think there's like 1 episode where we're like, that wasn't that bad. And then all the other ones were just like, man, this.
I believe if you're curious, it starts with the solo episode that we did, and then it goes through until whichever one would be the finale. Count to 8, and that's the one where we talk about the finale. But yeah, in terms of a better movie / TV show available on Disney Plus, the Muppets 2011. So Tommy, I want to hear your raw,
Unfiltered.
unfiltered, unkempt thoughts.
The frogs are making the what is it? What is he saying?
Is that Rolf?
No, you know how Alex Jones says like they're turning the frogs gay.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna they're turning the Muppets gay.
I thought you were doing the voice of Rolf, the dog who
No.
plays the piano.
Yeah, so this movie, like, it starts out with like a new Muppet. I remember seeing him and I'm like, I'm happy that it didn't start out with like just Kermit, because I feel like that would have been just like so easy. It literally starts out with a new Muppet, which is pretty dope. And then it like already has like a little sentimental thing. It kind of like feels a little bit nice. Like it's this guy that felt a little ostracized his whole life. And he's a Muppet, so that makes sense. But he found happiness in just like watching the Muppets all the time, and he was like literally their biggest fan. And then one of like the really funny things, they do like a couple musical numbers, and then like after like while the characters are walking through the town, and then after the characters leave, like after the musical number is over, somebody yells like they're gone, and then everybody just goes like oh and falls on the ground. so I think like once that happened, I'm like, okay, I'm in for something pretty good.
Yeah, this movie is just it's fun as fuck. It's really fun to watch. I mean, it's not only is it like genuinely funny in a lot of moments, but like the music is actually like
Kind of bumps.
good. Yeah, like the Life's a Happy song at the very beginning,
Yeah.
and Manor Muppet and the Rainbow Connection, and you know, they even end the movie with like Phenomena. And it's all just
What was that song? Phenomena? Is that just what it's called?
you don't know that song?
Yeah.
Well, that's like a big Muppet song. It's like
Okay.
the Phenomena thing. What? Lily's saying it was in your elementary school talent show.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lily, I do not remember my elementary school talent show.
He says he doesn't remember the elementary school talent show. So okay, here, let me ask you two more questions. One, is this your first Muppets related movie or show or anything?
I imagine I watched it as a kid, but like this is the first time I've engaged in Muppet media in a very long time.
And another important question: who is your favorite Muppet?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna look at all the Muppets real quick. I don't like Miss Piggy. I don't know why. She just kind of annoys me. This is funny. If you type in all Muppets, here's the list. It goes Miss Piggy, Beaker, Kermit the Frog, Fozzie Bear, Animal, The Great Gonzo, Dave Goelz, just an old like white guy, and then
hell yeah, all the rest are actual
Pepe
Muppets.
the King Prawn, Dr. Butts. It just adds. That's so weird. That's really funny. I don't know, probably Kermit.
Wow, what a vanilla choice.
I don't care. I love Kermit. He's like that. This is one of the reasons I like the movie. Is that like, I feel like in movies of this kind of style where somebody's like trying to bring the band back together, like the star of the band is like usually super against it and is like, oh no, like there's a whole like 20 minutes or 30 minutes where like they need convincing. But like Walter just kind of tells them, and he's like, hey, they're tearing the Muppet thing down, and Kermit's just like, shit.
You know, he has like one song where he's
he
like,
sings a song, and then he's like, let's do this shit. I want to
Yeah.
I want to bring back the Muppets. And it's like, oh, okay, that's like, thank God, like they didn't go through all those like unnecessary hurdles of like, I being like, oh, should. It was just Kermit being like, yeah, let's do this.
I also really like the motivation behind the villain being like he wants to tear down Muppets. Yeah, he wants to tear down Muppet Studios because there's oil underneath
I
it.
know. LA.
It's so funny. But there's just like there's a lot of really funny bits like this. Like I really like the moment when they, Kermit doesn't really want to get Miss Piggy because like they got divorced or whatever. So like he's like, I don't really want to get her. And then they go into her office and they do like Muppet Man, and like they all stack on top of each other, and like Fozzie is the head, and they're trying to walk around or whatever, and then they fall over, and Miss Piggy's like, I can't believe I fell for Muppet Man, and I just found that really funny because it's like you get a sense that there's like a history of doing Muppet Man so many times.
Yeah. The humor, like that's a thing. Like I don't know if this is probably like a PG movie. Yeah. The humor is like really funny and like also like caters to older audiences. Like one of the major plot points is the Muppets kidnapping Jack Black against his will.
Yeah.
And like for the rest of the movie, he's just like, help me, please. This isn't a joke. They've kidnapped me against my will.
Wait, what is it they say at one point? Oh yeah, Fozzie's like, Kermit, what is worse, or he's like temporarily inconveniencing Jack Black or letting the Muppet Studio die? And Kermit's like, kidnapping Jack Black, Fozzie.
Yeah, what's more illegal? Yeah, that was really funny. And yeah, like you said, like this movie is like literally filled to the brim with celebrity cameos.
Yeah,
they're literally everywhere.
I mean, Jack Black is in it. Who else? John Krasinski, Selena Gomez, the kid from Modern Family.
Neil deGrasse. No, what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris.
I always get confused with the Neils with the 3-part names.
And then and Jason Segel and Amy Adams are the leads.
Yep. There's definitely more.
There's a ton. Rashida Jones, I'm pretty sure, is in it.
Yep, Rashida. Oh, literally, Donald Glover is part of it.
Yep, Donald Glover's
in
it.
Walks in the room, says something, then walks out. But I guess he wasn't as popular then. So,
yeah, it's just fun stuff like that keeps you really engaged. But on top of it all, and maybe this is the Muppet shill in me, but it gets me like really emotional sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I think you talked about it kind of a different part when we were talking about it the other day, but for me, it's when they all start singing the Rainbow Connection. Mm-hmm. It makes me like really, but first of all, because it starts with Kermit and Piggy singing, but when they all join in, I'm just like, I'm an inconsolable wreck because like, that's a song that Kermit sings in the original Muppet movie alone. And then now they're all singing it together after they're reunited. It's just so wholesome and so fun. And the whole telethon, like it's all like sketch comedy, but it's like better than SNL, like it's actually like funny sketch comedy. Like I really like how Gonzo, he does like this failed stunt thing where he's like got a bowling ball and he like doesn't let it go and his arm just keeps swinging. And if you look in the background, like 10 minutes later, his arm is still swinging around, but he's like not saying anything about it. It's just still going.
And then in the end credits, there's a part where Gonzo actually, the bowling ball comes free and it hits the oil guy.
Yeah, Tax Richmond or whatever.
Tax Richmond. And his injuries are like bad to his head. He gets a concussion or whatever, and he decides not to drill for oil anymore. The Muppets their studio.
Yeah, he decides to give them their studio back, and he has a change of heart because he got hit with the bowling ball. It's just so much fun. Oh wow, I just pulled up. It's got a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's but great. Like, I just feel like, how can you watch this movie and not like, even if you're not like me, you're not gonna give fucking 5 stars or whatever, because I'm being, a bitch because it makes me emotional and I love it. But how can you just not have a good time watching the movie? I also like the part where they're doing the montage of like going and picking everybody up. Mm-hmm. And Rolf's
that was also something I really liked, because I'm like, oh god, are we gonna do like literally scenes of them picking up everybody, and then they literally just say, "Hey, let's not do that. Let's
Yeah.
just like have this montage be really quick."
And when Rolf is like, "Why didn't you show me getting picked up in the montage?" And it's like they flash to it, and it's like, "Hey, Rolf, you want to get the Muppets back together?" Yeah. It's just it. Or like, what is it? They're just like, "How are we gonna get all the way to Europe so fast?" And like, "We'll just travel by map."
Yeah.
Because the map.
And the funny thing is that like traveling by map is just like a major plot point.
Yeah, and then
Um,
like at the end, Amy Adams is like, "Yeah, we just traveled by map," and they're like, "Oh, okay." Like they come out of the ocean and everything, like after they travel by map, and you see the car driving out of the ocean.
mhm. I have to say, Amy Adams, her character is like the most forgiving person in the
Oh
world.
yeah, yeah.
Like she is like Jason Segel isn't like an asshole in the movie, but he definitely like cares way more about the Muppets than
Yeah,
his soon to be wife.
his soon-to-be wife.
And she like gets a little irritated at one point, but then he just like says, "You know what? I'm sorry." And she's like, "Ah, it's okay." And that's pretty much it.
I mean, that's what Miss Piggy does too. I don't think Kermit ever even like formally apologizes for anything, but she's just like, "Oh, Kermit, I could never stay mad at you." There's also I have a pulled up quote here that I quite like. Walter says, "September, that's like 6 months from now." And Fozzie says, "That's nothing. I once waited a whole year for September."
Yeah, there's a lot
uh,
of good lines in it.
Also, a good bit when they sing the Manor Muppet thing, and you see the Muppet version of Jason Segel, and then you see the human version of Walter, and it's uh, Jim Parsons from The
Yeah,
Big
it's
Bang Theory.
I think one of the other funny bits, I forget what the context was. I think it was like, well, I'm just keep thinking about all the funny things, but I remember when they were trying to get into Kermit's house, and Walter was like, what was Jason Segel's name?
Oh, Gary.
Gary. He's like, "Throw me, Gary, throw me." And then Amy Adams like, "I think that's an electrical fence." He's like, "No, no, no, throw me." He throws him, and then he gets like, electrocuted. He falls down, and then he's like, "You need to throw me higher next time." um, but yeah, there's just so many fun. Literally, the more I think about it, the more.
I like when Mary is in the hotel room and she's reading a book and it's a thesaurus, and then Gary comes in and she just starts going like, "I'm gonna go do this by myself, and I'm gonna do this individually," and then I'll be like, she just
Oh,
says a
she was
bunch of
literally
different.
reading the word for alone.
Yeah, she was just reading. Uh, uh, fuck, what's that called? A word that means the same thing.
Synonym.
I was gonna say simile. Thank you, Lily. Yeah. There's there's not much to say. It's a really fun, enjoyable movie. It's funny. It's got like fun musical numbers. Like I think it's honestly got like more consistently good music than like most like Disney movies or
I
something, you
agree.
know?
I 100% agree.
Because like,
I've been
Disney
like,
movies,
I keep thinking about Rainbow Connection, and I'm always thinking that song. That it's always singing it in my head.
yeah. It's a great song. Like it's actually like just a nicely written song, which is why it makes me cry like a little bitch at the fucking felt puppets singing it at the end of the movie.
Hmm.
Also, like the like puppeteering is actually just like so good. Like Kermit does these like little mouth movements with his like mouth that are like really complicated that like someone's just doing with their hand. You know what I mean? Like he like curls like this part of his like lip up and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
But it's
didn't
just
notice that, but I believe
he
it.
it all the puppeteering is like really good and they all feel like super fleshed out.
Yeah. And I guess one of the other parts we didn't talk about is that like this movie, uh, none of the Muppets are like the main characters. The main character is pretty much just Walter and Gary.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly Walter. I guess one of the only, I don't know if this is, I guess it's sort of a complaint, but I don't know if you have an explanation for this that I guess I didn't see. So like one of the big parts at the end was the Muppets need a final act, and Walter for a long time was struggling to figure out what his final act should be,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Oh, that he get a whistle.
But he just like starts whistling like incredibly well, and then he finishes, and that's kind of it. I just felt like it was like a little out of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they ever foreshadow it or anything, but I mean, it's also a Muppet movie. Traveling
Yeah,
by
so it
map
really
comes
cool.
out of nowhere, so like, how mad at it can I really get? But that's fair. Uh, fuck. What was I gonna say? God damn it. It's also animals like therapy circle and shit. Like this is anger management.
And then they all like get pissed off and start beating each other. Oh,
That's in
also
Shaw, isn't
one of
it?
the other funny things about it was when they're like pitching their idea to do like a Muppet telethon to everybody, they
Mm-hmm.
finally go to Rashida Jones, who is like, "I'm sorry, Muppets, you're not popular anymore." And then she like shows them like, "Look, here's a TV show that's popular right now, and it's called Punch Teacher."
Oh yeah.
It's literally just like students with boxing gloves like punching the teachers. And then
Yeah.
and then in comes Donald Glover. And once Rashida Jones like rejects them, Donald Glover comes in and he's like, "I have breaking news. The Teachers Association of America has sued Punch Teacher." It's just like so absurd.
I also like in that same like section when they're going to the different networks to pitch the Muppet Telethon, and they go to the Spanish network, and the guy like speaks to them in Spanish, and they all start celebrating.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my god, that's great news!" And he's like, "No, that means no." Also, the Muppets are
The Muppets.
yeah, you know
Miss
the
Poogie.
yeah Miss Miss Poogie. Uh, and they sing a version of the Rainbow Connection that's like, I forget, it was like, "Why do we have such good deals on hotel rooms?" or something like that. And
Oh
Fozzie's
yeah,
like,
that was at the beginning, right?
mm-hmm. And like Fozzie's office is outside in the rain. He's like, grab the cushions.
Yeah, I remember they grab the cushions, grab the cushion. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I don't really know what else to say, but it's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um
It's a good and I wish Disney had done better with like a sequel to this movie. Not even that the sequel to this is inherently bad. I mean, I say sequel, like this is technically the like, seventh Muppet movie or whatever, but um, the next one is just it doesn't like it doesn't have the same like magic behind it. Like you get like a sense of like oh this is like what the Muppets actually like are and what they mean and like why it's like kind of a big deal that they're back and this kind of stuff and like why it's kind of sad that they faded into obscurity. But the next one is just kind of like a lazy plot, just like Kermit getting kidnapped and shit. But like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that Disney did like this really great reintroduction for the Muppets. Like if you've never seen anything Muppets related, like this is like a great place to start. And if you go back and watch the older stuff, you'll probably appreciate it more because you'll be like, you know, you can just appreciate where the humor comes from. But they had this like great jumping off point, and they just never really followed through with anything that's up to the same quality. I mean, they bought the Muppets for like $1 billion or whatever, and they made this movie, and they made another movie and two TV shows,
they
and
bought the Muppets for $1 billion, and then they started drilling oil in their
yeah, no,
mineral
literally,
property.
now they're ripping up the Muppet studio to drill for oil.
Um Yeah, I think one of the best parts about this movie is that like it kind of makes me want to go back and like watch the old Muppets movies, but also
Hmm.
at the same time, if I never watched another Muppets movie, I'd be like, I don't know, this is a weird way to say it. I'd be like happy because this one was so good.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I feel that.
like I don't feel like I need to see another one because I like this one so much, but it also makes me
Mm,
want to see the other ones. So it like
yeah,
he literally hit that perfect sweet spot. Um,
I definitely feel
like
that.
that like franchise movies should hit.
Hmm. And I think like, you know, there's a lot of movies that come out now that are like bringing back things from older generations. Like, oh, let's bring back fucking the Smurfs or let's bring back the
Yeah.
Flintstones or whatever. And they usually suck. And this is the biggest exception to that rule that I've ever seen because not only is this like it has the same spirit of the original, but it actually like enhances it in a couple of ways.
It
You
enhances it
know,
so well. It's
like
it's just so
the
great.
comedy is like written by people who want to be funny for both kids and adults. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like Kermit is farting and you know
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm like Fozzie literally has a whole bit where his shoes fart and like
oh
as
well yeah,
when
but
they're
that's
told
treated as like
it,
Kermit's
it
like no, that idea is no good.
it was pretty funny because well, I guess it depends if you think it's funny or not.
Yeah.
Like they're told by Tex Richmond that like they didn't raise $10 million, so they're like kicked off. And he owns like the Muppets name, so they all start like walking out sadly, and
Hmm.
you can hear Fozzie's fart shoes
Shoes
like go
farting,
off,
yeah.
and then like Kermit was like, "Please stop, Fozzie."
I also like in that final like they do a reprise of Life's a Happy Song and you know while they're doing the musical number or whatever, like there's just a gigantic poster for Cars 2 in the
Yeah,
background.
I 100% noticed that, and I was like, this is
Like
definitely
it's one thing to
intentional.
have like a little poster in the back of like what it's like a big ass fucking Cars 2 poster though.
Mm. It's a little bit like the Sonic movie,
Like the
like
Zillow ad.
yeah, when they just like say the brand name when they did not need
Hmm.
to.
uh yeah, but here's my pitch, right? Saturday Night Live is not funny, right?
Wow.
At least it's not very funny.
I agree. I think when I watch Saturday Night Live, I can pretty easily go the entire like episode. I never even watch the entire episode. I usually just stop at the end of the weekend update. But I can go like most of it with just about not laughing.
Hmm.
Very
My
rarely do I
pitch,
like am I laughing my ass off.
my pitch is bring back the Muppet Show in its full glory with modern day celebrity guests every week. So you get the same appeal from Saturday Night Live of like, oh, who's going to be doing funny sketches this week? Is it going to be fucking Pete Davidson or whatever? But this time they're actually funny because they're written by people who wrote this movie. I don't even know who those people are, but if you're listening, get fucking call Disney. And it would just be so much fun if like first of all, it'd be a good promotion thing for Disney if like I don't know, the next Captain America movie is coming out and they have Anthony Mackie on hanging out with puppets. It'd be a great way to bring back the old formula and do something with the Muppet property that they have that you're just doing nothing with.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, I'd like to see something. I think my issue is I probably wouldn't watch it that much myself. I'd probably watch it a few times. I don't know.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
it would be like it would be like, you know, you don't no one watches Saturday Night Live every week, but
no, there are people that definitely do.
yeah, that's true. But like most people will be like, "Oh, look, this person is on. I'm going to watch this episode because I like
Yeah,
that actor."
that's true.
Same deal. How cool would it be?
Look, Jack
Fucking
Black is on again.
Jack Black is on the Muppets. He has like a whole revenge arc.
Oh,
He's
that'd be
so
dope.
good. Jack
Yeah.
Black's so cool.
I really like I hope nothing bad ever comes out about him.
Also like when uh when they do like the shaving number in this movie with like the Swedish chef and all of them are singing Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, they're literally, and he's just like, you're literally ruining one of the best songs ever.
I feel like Kurt Cobain would have loved that, honestly.
I don't know anything about Kurt Cobain, but I just imagine any like sensible person would have been like, that's hilarious.
Also, the Chickens cover of
Forget You.
Forget You is actually kind of good.
It was actually really good. It just, I don't know. This movie is like, everything about this movie screams out of left field, but like, it just like works so perfectly. I don't know how, I can't really explain it any other way. It's just like the most random, like
It's the
I would not be,
wackiness and
I
the
wouldn't be
zaniness.
surprised if like we found out that like many of the writers were just like doing coke constantly while
Fucking
writing this
Kermit's doing
movie.
coke.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's just great. Captures the spirit of the original. It's a great like soft reboot introduction to the Muppets. If you've never like seen anything of the Muppets, like maybe it's not the funniest thing that's ever come out of them. There are a lot of episodes of the Muppet Show that I haven't seen, and you know there are moments in the movies that had me like cracking up, but this is like the most consistently funny and enjoyable movie that knows exactly what it is, and
Yeah,
it just
there's really not
does.
a dull moment. It's just pretty great.
So Chad from me, obviously.
Yeah, definitely Chad for me. I was really surprised with how much I liked it. But yeah, this, like Michael said, this movie's great. I definitely recommend everybody watch it.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, and watch it. If enough people watch it, maybe Disney will be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot
10
we owned
million
that. Let's
people
make
watch
something."
it by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Then they'll do a reboot of the TV.
Onward, not the Pixar movie,
Yeah,
just
I was.
Onward in general.
Mhm.
What have you been watching?
Let's see. So, I mean, I talked about WandaVision. Watched that briefly. Besides that, I have seen. Okay. I don't know if I talked about this. I watched Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, the 2018 version.
Oh yeah, I saw you weren't a
Well,
fan.
there are a couple. I don't know if it's the right word. Just, I mean, I guess it is like chick flick movies. Just I have a couple neighbors that like to watch those movies. But Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. That movie was like bad and boring. But the weirdest thing about it was that it like there was like literally like 4 different times where I was convinced like, okay, this is where the movie ends. Like this is like there was literally like a
Yeah.
song where it was nighttime, like there were fireworks going off, and like, okay, like this is where the movie ends. Like this is that makes sense. It like the chords were like perfectly going together that like made it seem like there was the ending song. And then there was still like 5 more songs after that. And I don't know, this movie just like
Every time you thought it was the end.
this movie just like did not know how to like structure momentum, which is a very specific thing that I'm describing, and I definitely don't even understand that myself. But like it just seemed like my review, I think I said like it just feels like it's a roller coaster that constantly is in between like going up 10 feet and then going down 10 feet. It just makes
Like you're
no
never
sense.
gaining any ground.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Have you seen the first one?
No. That was actually the crazy thing. I thought for the longest time that the original Mamma Mia movie like came out years and years ago. Like I thought it came in like the 90s or 80s, but it came out in 08.
Yeah, I
I
knew
didn't know that.
that.
Didn't know that at all.
I do want to watch the first one. Lily wants to watch that with me. Mamma Mia.
And then besides that, I watched Princess Diaries.
And I
Which
saw you did not like that one either.
no, it was I don't know. It was just a little. It's not for me. That's my only thing. If you like it, that's so dope. But it's just not for me because I can't really explain it without sounding like an asshole. But like, it's not my cup of tea.
You know what I watched?
What's that?
For the first time since the Ultimate Edition was released, I watched Batman versus Superman.
Wow, how was it?
Better than I remember, but still not very good.
What'd you give it?
2.5.
Okay.
It's a teeter between 2 and 2.5, but I gave it 2.5 because I was like, look, I know Superman sucks ass in this movie and doesn't act like Superman, and I know Batman doesn't act like Batman. So I'm just gonna like go into it knowing that and just like enjoy it for what it is. And you know what? It's like not really that bad in terms of like just the story if they weren't using Batman and Superman. Uh and it's really the third act is fucking awful. But like I don't know. The Snyder Cut comes out soon. That's why I watched it.
When is the Snyder Cut coming out?
The 18th.
Of March?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Here's my hot take. I know nothing about DC or anything, but my view, or my just hot take, is that the Snyder Cut will be disappointing because I know how much or how bad everybody says the Justice League was, and everybody's hyping up the Snyder Cut like it's gonna fix it, but I just don't see that happening.
It's 4 hours long.
Yeah, but granted, I have not seen like any DC movies besides the Wonder Woman movies and Joker
And
and
Shazam.
like maybe another one. Shazam.
But yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna be very good, but I'm just strapping in and I'm gonna watch it because fucking whatever. Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be disappointed if it's bad, and if it's good, I'll be pleasantly surprised. You know.
make sure to do a double feature of Snyder Cut and Return of the King.
Fuck you.
Yeah, you'll be
4 hours is an insane runtime, and that goes for any director. Okay. Just split it into Justice League 1 and 2. It's just like
yeah, give me part 1 and part 2.
honestly. Yeah. So that comes out, I'll watch that. We'll see how that is, but you know, I'm not as angry at Batman versus Superman as I was because I know what it is. And I can't really be let down by something that I'm fully aware of what it is, you know? Like the first time I saw it, I was like crushed because I was like, Superman wasn't Superman. And
Who was he?
he
Clark Kent?
yeah, haha. But he was just an asshole. And now that I know he's an asshole, I can just be like,
Have you only seen it once?
this is the third time I've seen it.
Okay.
Total. But and I'm gonna rewatch Justice League, the theatrical original version
Before
the Snyder Cut comes out. And
Wow.
that's gonna be fucking awful. I'm
maybe
basically
we could do it.
punishing myself.
I was just gonna say maybe we can do a episode of the Snyder Cut, but I don't want to sit through 4 hours of
4 hours is a long time, but you can split it up.
yeah, maybe. I'll consider.
Plus, you watch everything at 2 times. Did you watch the Muppets at a different speed?
No,
Don't even tell me. If the answer is yes, don't tell me.
I don't think I did.
Psycho. No. Yeah. Oh, and then I watched Nomadland.
How's that? I've heard great
Good.
things. Well, not great things. I've heard like everybody likes it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I was having some trouble getting into it in the very beginning. But I also watched it like the same day that the Wandavision finale came out, so I was more preoccupied like with checking Twitter, honestly, for the first like 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
But I did like it. I thought it was good. And I'm excited. I mean, it made me more excited for the Eternals movie that she's directing for Marvel.
Oh, the
Chloe
person
Zhao.
who did WandaVision is doing Eternals.
No.
The person who did
Nomadland.
Nomadland is doing Eternals.
Yeah.
I initially thought that's what you meant, but then I'm like, no, I mean.
Yeah, no, she's doing Eternals, and that's why I'm excited. Even though Eternals, I don't know anything about the comics or anything, and I haven't been impressed by anything I've seen so far. Like, Nomadland definitely had me more hyped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Besides that, there's the only other thing I've been watching. I talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago, but Attack on Titan. It has gone from like a show that I watched decently, and I kind of binged it, and I was just like, yeah, it's pretty good. It is now like literally the most absurd, insane show I've ever seen.
In a good way?
In an incredibly good way. Like I've never seen writing that has like captivated me this much in a TV show. It's like insane how the show goes from like 100 and then like it just stays at 100 and then goes to 200. It's unbelievable. Like I mean, I don't know. Usually, I've watched a couple of animes here and there, and I usually think they're fine. But this show, like, just the writing is like beyond excellent. It's insane how engrossing and absurd this show is. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it. My sister says a lot of stuff about it. So
yeah, it's sick.
Anyway, that's about it. That's all we got.
Yeah.
We both sucked off the Muppets for about an hour, and that's it. We'll be back next week. We'll do WandaVision. Tommy and I will definitely have some opinions on that. Maybe popular.
Maybe
Tommy's definitely won't be popular. I'll just
that's your prediction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, I don't know. I think you're gonna agree with me in a lot of ways, but I also think you might pull the rug out from under me, and I might look foolish on air. So
on air, unfiltered. Make sure you stay tuned. Yeah, for we have special guest Alex Jones next week. We're gonna be talking about Black Panther.
Tune in for WandaVision next week. Snyder Cut the week after, maybe not. Maybe we'll talk about Kong versus Godzilla. We're gonna do that soon.
When does
the movie's coming out now? Is the point? What?
When does Kong versus Godzilla come out?
Like the last week of March or something.
Cool. I'd be super down to like figure out a way to watch that at the same time.
Netflix party.
It's not on Netflix. Oh, you can do it on anything now, right?
Do it on HBO Max, yeah.
Sick.
So yeah, we'll probably do those things and some other stuff. And the last Harry Potter episode will come out in like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because I think that was my favorite episode of Harry Potter recorded.
Yeah, me too.
There's like a series of like 10 minutes where we're just literally laughing our ass off the entire time.
Yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, bye. I thought you were going to say bye.
Oh, no.
I was waiting.
I thought you were going to do the thing where you say bye and then you immediately stop. But I'll do it. Bye.